Welcome to my whip. Today we have a Honda Civic race car. Please hit the like, subscribe button, comment if you'd like your car featured on my whip.
I'm Brandon, this is my whip.
Welcome to my whip. I'm here with Brandon, checking out his race car.
Yes, sir.
So, what did this start as, Brandon?
Well, I bought this car off of a friend of mine. It's a 2005 Honda Civic SI. He posted it for sale with his other car, and this one was a parts car because it didn't have a title for it. So I asked him what he wanted for it. He said he didn't want to sell it to me. Then he messaged me back about 2 weeks later, said I'm going to vacation tomorrow. Come up with $250 and you can have the car. So I drove up there and didn't have any seats in it. I drove home on a milk crate at 3 in the morning. Got it home, stripped all the parts I cut off of it, like the headlights, the taillights. I sold all those, the airbag. Stripped the stock car out and built it into a car to race on the dirt. It's a 2-liter K20A JDM 4-cylinder engine. The original transmission's still in the car. It's all lightened and everywhere I could put it. I skinned everything out of it. I put Lexan windows, external rub rails on it to keep people off my sweet paint job.
Now this is paint, right?
Actually, the car is painted. The car is originally silver. My father painted the car with a brush. Yes, a paint brush.
I remember seeing on your Facebook that you guys...
The red's paint, the black's paint, the numbers paint, the yellow is stickers, but it's all painted inside, in and out. My father's sign letterer. He's been lettering signs for the past 40 years. Signs, cars, race cars, fire trucks, police cars, you name it. He's done it, and it's what he does for a living. And we could definitely have the sharpest looking car out on the track, that's for sure.
What class do you race in, just for those who want to know?
This is considered the mini stock class. It's open to any 400 domestic, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder car. Dodge Neon, Chevy Cavalier, Honda Preludes, Honda Civics.
So
those are pretty much the competition.
If this is something you might be interested in, check out your local racetrack. They might have a class.
Most do. Most do. There's a bunch of different names for them. They call them the 4-cylinder class, the mini stocks, the Hornets, the Bumblebees. There's all kinds of names. Sport compacts. There's a million names for the class, but they're all pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
It's get a car straight, legal off the road, and build it into a race car to go race and have fun on the dirt on the weekends. $40,000-mile Japanese imported K20A, the good K20A. You have to keep them stock per the rules, where most tracks will allow certain things, but the tracks I've been running at, they've got to be stock. So it's got the stock air cleaner on it. It's got all stock internals. I haven't built anything. Everything's the way it was, fresh from Japan. It's got a drop-in K&N air filter on it. AC pump and everything's been removed. A lot of people remove the power steering pump. This car happens to have electric power steering, so you don't have to remove it. It's got a front nose to an Acura RSX because that's the only thing I had kicking around that would somewhat fit it. That bumper was actually given to me by a friend who hit a deer, and the bumper was a little bent up here and there, but it was a lot better shape than the one that I had ripped off in the week previous at the races. I have 2-inch or 2.5-inch stainless exhaust coming out to the side. It's all heat wrapped and boxed to come out the door because I kept ripping my exhaust off going into the turns. She's a little beat up, but that's a race car for you.
It's made to go fast, not look pretty.
Right. If there's a car that's got a real clean body and it's been racing for a lot of years, well, I can tell you what, that car hasn't been a very successful race car. But we got like the deck lid for the rear of this to cover up the rear trunk area. This deck lid is actually from a Troyer modified dirt car that we had cut to fit this car. It's got Lexan windows around the side of it. Just pretty much stripped the interior out. We built the cage kit right here. The whole car was built in the backyard, in my backyard. Nothing fancy, nothing special. No $1 million shop, no $1 million tools. Everything was done right with everything that I had. Pulled a lot of parts that I had off this car to refabricate them into other things.
Like he's saying, race car, not pretty. It's got to do its job.
Yep, this car, I built this car 4 years ago, and of the races that this car has finished at every racetrack, I average second place. So I win most 5/8 high banked dirt track, and I reach speeds of upwards of 100 miles an hour on the straightaways with this car. In the turns, about 80. I run the same lap times as the V8 street stock, the fast cars in the street stock class do. It's pretty much third gear wide open, fourth gear down the straightaway, and then go into the turn at 100 miles an hour, throw it in sideways, drop it into third gear, and let it eat, come off the turn, and grab fourth gear. By the time you hit the next turn, you look down, you're doing 105 miles an hour in it, and it's pretty fast. And the car that's not meant to do that, it's definitely something else.
It's definitely all about having fun.
Had a lot of little Honda Civics and Honda Preludes. My first car was a 1995 Honda Prelude with a 2.2 VTEC in it, and I got plenty of speeding tickets. Some of them I can't talk about.
Been there.
Let's just say that this right here kept me from going down the path I was going and racing on the streets. And this, when I first saw this class come out, I had no idea that they could run these cars in a dirt track. I was like, oh my god! I was like 17 or 18. I was like, those are cool. And I thought about it, like, well, that's cool. And then I ended up getting in a lot of trouble with my street car. And then I said, well, I'm going to start building a dirt track car. So me and my father got a hold of a car from a junkyard and stripped it out, put a cage in it, went right out there the first race and got second place out of 18 cars. Like, well, that was pretty easy. First year racing these cars, I got a championship, and I'm a 5-time champion at one racetrack. I've won at multiple racetracks around the area with this car. It's been pretty good to me.
All right, Brandon, well, I appreciate your time, and hopefully 100 videos from now, I plan on having a get-together with all these cars, making a car show of it, and hope to see you there.
Right on, brother.